Okay, hello. How's it going? Hope you're well. It's currently February 17th. As I record this, is that $1? Oh my gosh, I want to pick this up. Hope that's okay if I pick it up. I just found $1 on the ground. So, that was kind of unexpected. Whenever you see this, it'll likely be like May. So, technically, you are a time traveler. So, how does it feel? Hopefully, you didn't get ripped to shreds. Hopefully, you're actually able to see this. So, I feel like there's always some sort of challenge, some sort of obstacle, I feel like. But I think things have been getting a tiny bit easier. Or at least I've been handling things better. I don't know. This morning has been a morning. I don't know. It's currently 9 o'clock, almost 9:30. And I think it's really sad that there are people in the world. And I think it's even more sad that there's people in my family who are like this, who, how do I say this, are so self-centered that they don't think that anybody else should have the spotlight if they are not included. Like, these people are not doing anything with themselves. They're just kind of walking around and like just existing and all that stuff. And somehow, some way, they have it in their head that they should have what I have. That doesn't make any sense. You're not doing anything. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not trying to be, you know what I mean? So like, what? I was on stream this morning and my brother and his girlfriend walked through the stream, and I don't know, this isn't a new thing, but it's just like so annoying that people could be so like, I don't know, like hard to deal with, I guess. Because I'll say hi, like we haven't really been talking, I feel like, the last few months, and really it's because of them. It's because they decided to be really belligerent and nasty, and I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm just gonna mind my business and like whatever. But out of courtesy, because it's like we're in the same room, like, so I don't know, recently, to be respectful, I've just been like, hello, you know, I just throw a hello, and usually they don't give anything back, and it's like, I already expect nothing. But like, at this point, they're just choosing to be annoying, you know what I mean? Which I think is so sad. Cause, what the fuck? And then, I've talked about this before, but there was one moment in time where, I'm crying, where I was like giving them all this money. Like, back when I first started working, they would ask me for money and I would give them money, no problem, no strings attached. I'd never expected anything back. But like, I don't know, these people are weird. They're evil. Cause like, if you were to ask, I would give you whatever you wanted. You know what I mean? And somehow in your twisted brain, you have it that like, you should like be angry at me or whatever. And I think it's so interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I talked about it a few months ago, but I did get into a thing with one of my brothers where he basically was saying all this nonsense about how I don't have money and how I don't have a job and I don't have anything going for my life. And I don't know, it was so obvious to me that he was projecting, that he was just saying things about himself. You know what I mean? Like, you see me working all the time, you know what I mean? And like, the way that I have it understood is that like, it's a minimizing thing. Like, they think in their stupid minds that if they don't give you any attention, you'll be discouraged from like doing whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? And it's so backwards, because it's like, who do you think that you are? Like, yes, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you have so much potential, but who the fuck do you think you are in this present moment that you think that your lack of attention would affect me? The fuck? Some people would probably say that I've like mastered life, because I understand love. I understand that the biggest aspect of life is love, is connection, togetherness, community. And I try not to be too judgmental in my ways, but like, I do kind of scoff at people who walk around thinking that they are successful without having any empathy, without having any sense of care for their fellow human. Like, I think those people are very misguided. And at the time of recording, a lot of people have been talking about the Epstein files, and that's been something that is like a thing. And I already knew this information. I already knew that they were sacrificing people and killing. I already knew years ago, So if anything, this was just some sort of confirmation, you know? And I feel like for a lot of people like me, like that's also a similar thing. Like, it's like, I already knew. You weren't telling me anything new. Thank you for the confirmation, but I already knew, you know? And I think it's so sad because these people do these things, do these rituals, and I feel like if they were doing it with different intention, it would have a different outcome. But like, you're doing it just for selfish reasons. You're doing it just to boost yourself, just to help yourself. Like, you're ruining a life so that you can improve your own life, not for the greater good, not for anybody else, but just for yourself. Like, I think that's like, I mean, you would hope and you would want to believe that most people can have a change of heart. But 9 times out of 10, that happens after death. Because it's forced. Because it has to happen. You know what I mean? And it's so sad to think that there's so many people out there who do such wicked things and have zero remorse. Have zero guilt. Until, like, something negative happens to them. Because that's the part. You're only sad because you got caught. You're only... You know what I mean? Also, I'm supposed to work today. And I might end up having to get a ride, like... paying for a lift, and so that's a thing also. Okay, look at the birdies, look at them. You know, I think it's so sad, man, this type of world we live in, how people lie to themselves. You know what I mean? I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, you can lie to me, but please stop lying to yourself, because it makes it so much more confusing. You know what I mean? And obviously he denied that he was lying to himself. But you know what I mean? It's just like, I guess real quick I could talk about the notion of, since I already talked about it, the notion of people trying to minimize you, trying to belittle you. And sometimes it's not necessarily malicious. Sometimes it's just them protecting their own ego, which is so sad, once again. But you have to be careful with these people. You have to be mindful of sharing too much with these people, giving too much of yourself to these people, because once again, they will minimize whatever you give them. Because a lot of the times these people are very insecure with themselves. They don't feel good about themselves. And so when they see that you're happy with yourself, when they see that you're doing the best that you could do and you're happy with yourself, it makes them feel some type of way. And so subconsciously they'll do things to minimize you. They'll ignore you. They'll forget your birthday. They'll do whatever so that you can feel inferior. But really, it's just a projection of how they feel. You know what I mean? They feel that way. And it's so fucking sad. How many times I'm going to say this in this video? It's so fucking sad. It's so tragic, you know? Because I think we all have potential. I think we all have the ability to be great. You know what I mean? And it's so sad when somebody squanders that because they don't see it within themselves. You know? If you appreciate my videos at all, if you appreciate the content that I make, please consider going to the link tree down below in the description and consider purchasing one of my products. Consider joining the Patreon. Consider listening to my music, whatever. Once again, link tree in the description. It's really cloudy today. Look at the clouds are out there. It's kind of chilly. It's definitely warmer than it has been, which is why I'm more inclined to go outside. You know? And I don't know, I guess I have to be thankful for my own persistence, my own dedication, because with all of the shit that I've been given, all the shit that I've been handed throughout my life, if I was a different person, I probably would have definitely given up. I probably would have, but every time I think about that, it's always so weird to think about, because I'm like, what would I be doing if I wasn't doing what I was doing? You know what I mean? Like, how would I spend my time and energy? I don't know, because this is just what feels right. Making videos, live streaming, like, this is what feels natural, you know? And I don't know, I wish everybody had that, but unfortunately not everybody has that. And sometimes when people don't have that, they'll try to take that away from you, try to make you feel bad about yourself. And once again, it's so fucking sad. It's so tragic that people operate this way and believe this way, you know? I probably could make this longer, but I'm just gonna end this here. I'm gonna say thank you for tuning in. I hope you know miracles happen all the time. Whatever you're going through is very temporary, so you should try your best to keep your head up, keep your spirits high, you know, because everything's temporary, and whatever storm you're facing will come to an end at some point. So yeah, that's what I have for you. Have a nice rest of your day. Bye.